Hello, Patreon subscribers. How are you guys today? um, Today I'm going to give you guys an update on the energy that's going on around us in a spiritual sense, as far as paranormal activity. I do a lot of this, don't I? Right now, with the planetary alignments the way they are, and the fact that the Earth is beginning to resonate at a higher vibrational frequency. The Earth is literally vibrating faster now than it did a year ago, and it will be faster again than it is a year from now. I've got playful kittens in the office with me. Bear with me. This could be fun. And as the Earth is resonating higher, we are also have some energies that help us as an individual raise our vibrational frequency. This whole pandemic thing is meant to book. Thank you, Ghost Box. I have the Ghost Box on in the background and it said book. So in other words, this stuff is in the books. A lot of people are scared. Thank you, Ghost Box. And that's why I'm bringing this to light today for you. So you're beginning to vibrate at a higher frequency. You're more aware. You're more conscious of what's going on around you. So you may have noticed you're seeing a whole lot more paranormal activity around you. A lot more shadows out the corners of your eyes. Your peripheral vision is catching movement, but you're not quite sure what it is. You're doing this, pushing your bangs out of your eyes, making sure that's not it. But no, you really are seeing, feeling, and hearing more right now. All this energy right now has really lined up to make the veil thinner, so to speak, kinda, but yet we're more attuned than we used to be. We're seeing a whole lot of kids. I'm getting a ton of calls right now from parents whose children are seeing and hearing spirit. You know what? Before we were born, we were still communicating with the angels on the other side. So that's why kids still have an inkling of how, especially tiny kids and babies, they kind of lose it as, we desensitize them. You don't have an imaginary friend. You're not seeing grandpa. I'm not sure what you're dealing with, but don't go there. We have a tendency to squelch what our kids are seeing and hearing. So they kind of get desensitized and they lose it. But we are going through a very, very high activity time right now. I am seeing a ton of calls. I get at least one a day from the Reynolds transfer Camp Reynolds area. That energy down there, something has really stirred it up. If you live in that, there's a beautiful housing development down there now in the Reynolds area. At one time, it was an Army encampment back in the 40s, I believe. Oh, that's bad, Tina. You don't know your history for your local history. But there's a lot of energy that goes on with Army camp. Get down, kitty. I don't need you up here. There's a lot of energy that goes on with an Army camp that permeates the ground. A lot of coming and going. Guys being homesick, missing their wives. They get that Dear John letter, and that's maybe where they had to cope with the pain. Camp Reynolds was even a prison camp at one time, or there was a portion of it that did house some prisoners. Every camp's got, a brig. You get out of line, that's where you go. So there's a lot of energy that is coming to life right now down in that area. I'm hearing a ton of it. I can't handle all the calls as they come in. I'm calling in a couple of my paranormal other groups to help me, take care of these. For the most part, what I'm going to do today is teach you how to take care of it. It's kind of a long, drawn-out way to go about it. But hi, Kitty. You wanted a picture? Say hi. But today I'm going to teach you how to take care of what you're seeing. This is going to be brief. This is just the beginning of how to teach you how to cope with energy. I've got one girl that called me yesterday that said she had a speaker fly off of her shelf. She knew it was paranormal activity. She had just said something unflattering to somebody that was dead, and the speaker flew off the shelf. But she just happens to be in that area, so that energy is just more alive, and it's riled up down there for a reason. I don't know what it is. I do plan to go and pray and change that activity in that area at some point. I'm going to have to get a hold of some of the Native American people in the area that are affiliated with the Seneca or the Lenapes that would be in that area. But we need to go down there and get that ground consecrated back to good. But anyway, if you should see and feel some paranormal activity, just like the gal who saw the speaker fly off the shelf, first off, pull your wits back about you. Okay, it startles everybody. I do this for my living. I have been in this field researching paranormal and psychic activity since the 80s. It still fucking freaks me out. If it catches you off guard, it will startle you. It'll scare the bejesus out of you. Now let that last about that long. Figure it out. And don't give it that kind of energy. You got to stake claim to your home. You're going to treat this spirit like it's an unwelcome or an unruly guest. You had a picnic. Billy Bob stayed. He had too many beers and he's getting a little out of control. You know what? You push him out the door. You're welcome to come back, Billy Bob, next time. As soon as you sober up, go home, buddy. Go. Get back. Get out. Now, that's kind of the same way you want to handle the spirit. You're not going to try to agitate it. Don't scream at it. Don't entice it. But what you want to do is kind of just get firm with it. Don't challenge it, and just say, you must go. You're not welcome here. This is not your place. Step into the light. Help them step into the light. Tell them they have a mother there, their family is there. If it's somebody in this particular case, that girl knew who she'd pissed off when she said what she said. But first off, talk to them by name if you know who they are. If you don't, just call them spirit. And then ask them to leave. Do not give them any credibility. If you have other things go on around the house, don't blame it on the negative energy. Assign it to grandma. Somebody that is a benevolent, loving being on the other side, and that's who you want to kind of connect with when you have paranormal activity going on. Now, you can call in your own ancestors, people who have passed on, aunts, uncles, cousins, and say, hey, you know what? I've got a bad energy hanging out of my house. Can you come in and help keep me covered, protect me, and keep that energy away? You can do that because your own family are no different than saints once they get to the other side. Unlike angels, guardian angels can kind of come in without you calling them in. They can intercede in a way, it's kind of a complicated way that it works, but they can come in without our permission, so to speak. They can come in and help without us asking. But our own loved ones, we have to invite them in. Now, don't think you're bothering your mom if you're calling her in to help out in this situation. You feel bad. Oh, you know what? I shouldn't get her in this. They're over there waiting. Their job, their task, once they cross over to the other side, is to love, guide, and protect us over here. So don't be afraid to call them in. They have almost the power of a saint. But you do have to connect with them, and you do have to call them in. Now, you can burn sage to get rid of that negative energy, but there's really no but there. I don't know where I was going. That will help. It will help eliminate negative energy. Now, if there is some kind of deep residual energy connected to the land, and that's where we're going to go back with this Camp Reynolds area thing here in a minute. You've got to go back to the original owner. You have to go back to the original landlord. We pissed off the Native Americans of that Shenango Valley down in there at Clark. Before we built that Shenango Dam, that was sacred hunting grounds and burial grounds. And almost every state park, almost every national park, even though we are trying to protect the environment and we make these parks for the public to go see, we have desecrated spiritual holy grounds that belong to the first people that owned the globe. Okay, you've got native ancestors or indigenous people in every part of the globe, not just here in America, not just our Native Americans. So you have to go back to those original people who first are upset because we built this big water system. It's man-made. It's covering up burial grounds. It's washed away hunting grounds. So we have to go to them and appease them. We've got to kind of calm them down. We need to get that activity under control. So talk to the landlord first. You can take the best remedy for this. I've heard all kinds of tons of things done. Sprinkle a circle of salt around your house, and that will help. Once you clear your house of negative energy using sage, you can take salt and put a circle around your house to help keep negative energy from ever entering it. But this works better for stopping it completely, especially if you have property or a lot of property. Even a tiny bit of property. Cornmeal. Go to the grocery store, just buy some cornmeal. Okay? Plain old cornmeal. It comes in a can, round can, sometimes it's bagged up. But get a can of cornmeal. Then you want to go to your dollar store or to your country fair camp. Yeah, you got to do this at camp. Thank you, Spirit. Get a couple of cheap cigars. Black and mild, yes. Tobacco is a thank you and it's a blessing to the Native American. Get a couple cheap black and mild, Swisher Sweets, whatever they might happen to be. The two for $1.99. And answer. I don't know if you can hear Spirit Box, but it's been interjecting the whole time I've been talking, validating exactly what I'm saying. But take those cigars and now crumble that as fine as you can into the cornmeal. Because you never go visit a Native American, especially an elder, without taking tobacco as a gift or as an offering. Native Americans, we often burn tobacco in our homes to help welcome and blessing. Now you've got cornmeal, you've got your tobacco in there. Get some sage. You don't have to buy the expensive metaphysical grade sage, the wands. You can go to Amish bulk food store. You can go to the grocery store and buy a can of whole sage. Okay, it's cheaper. You can burn it. It's safe enough to eat. And you're going to take that can of sage and dump it right in there too. Mix that all up like you're making a confetti or a potpourri or something. And now take that mixture and stroll your property line and connect to the other side. Invite spirit in, the Native American spirit, if that's who you're trying to connect to. Start a conversation. First off, you want to say you're sorry that you committed any desecration to the property. You didn't mean to. And then thank them for allowing you the opportunity to take over stewardship of that land. As you're walking and you're spreading that cornmeal around the boundary of your property, or even around the outside of your house, talk to them. Tell them that you will protect the property. Tell them that you only want good, positive energies to come through. You're offering this mixture as a gift or as a token that you're wishing to see. I have the chills going up my spine right now. The hair on my arms is standing up. There is spirit in the room. When it comes over me, it comes over me. So let me try to get my thoughts back on where I was at. As you're spreading this mixture, just carry on a conversation with your new friend. This is like an old grandparent that you didn't know you had, and you want their wisdom, and you're sorry if you stepped on their toes at all as far as the property is concerned. But you're going to find that it will drop any kind of harmful, negative activity. It silences and appeases the Native American. You're appealing to them with the gift, with the thank you. And it doesn't have to be real elaborate. It's you're just connected in your head. You don't have any prayer you have to say. It is your intent. They can read your intent. I work with a lot of people that are coming over now from practicing on the dark side. They've been working with the occult, doing spells, dark witchcraft, and I'm not too big on white witchcraft either because it still is spells and incantations, and a lot of that is borderline not good, and some of it's even borderline Native American. You can take it for what it is, but you just have to be careful with that. But I've had a lot of people that have been coming over to me that have been stepping away from those dark practices. And I don't know where I was going with that. Hang on just a minute. Okay. Heated up my coffee and I'm back. And anyway, as I was saying, have been working with a lot of people that are stepping away from practices of the dark side. And one of the things that I'm trying to stress with them is it's not ritual. You don't need to do the rituals. You don't need to do the candle. I do have a candle burning. I welcome in the angels when I light the candle. It always helps. Almost all churches light candles. It does send your prayers closer to God, to the other side, to source, into the universe. But don't go big into the rituals. I'm going to repeat this, and I love this expression. You don't need to swing a dead voodoo chicken in the dark of the full moon, or the light of the full moon. Yeah, there we go. To get things done. It is your heart. It is the intent you have. You don't have to cast spells. You don't have to get hair clippings. You don't have to call in Hecates and Odin, whoever all these, some of you kids are more enlightened on the names of these dark side characters than I don't know who they are. I don't welcome them in. And the minute you start talking to them and welcoming in your practices, then you're opening yourself up to darker connections and darker energy. So it's not about those practices. Don't put too much emphasis on sprinkling the cornmeal. Do it with your heart. Do it with a good mind. And do it like a good neighbor. Today, that's it for another protection for you with using the cornmeal. I am going to, you know what, my Patreon people, I don't go by script. When I get on here, I'm kind of letting spirit channel me and guide me to what you're needing to hear and what you're wanting to hear. You guys at Patreon, first off, my very first 20 subscribers to Patreon are going to get a free tarot reading from me. I just want to thank you guys for just jumping in and following me and helping me out. So if you are one of my first 20 subscribers to my Patreon channel here, I'm going to give you guys all a one free tarot reading. So thank you so much. I'm going to wrap it up for now. As always, I send you guys my love. I use that heart chakra. I let it shine and send it to you. And I always wrap it up with sending you love and light.